That what happened? How did you guys actually were released from the camp, and then where did you go after that?
You know, in our case, I don't remember if we were ever released from the camp. It's more of we were moving to get a better care for my brother and my sister, you know, fighting hospital because we were my brother was not healthy, and so they just released us from, you know, going seeing a different doctor, and so it was okay for my mom to go first. And so, do you remember any?
Well, I was told that because of my health, they were able to, the camp committee or the guard were able to release my mom and me to go to seek for health care in the city, and you know, but
it was just
it was just keep
us,
going back and forth, back and forth. But eventually they got used to us going back and forth, and then
they trusted us, and so you know, it was a trust. But my dad was not allowed to leave with us. It was only mom and the kids get to go.
But but so, my parents, instead of leaving, instead of escaping, my mom come back. So that built a trust relationship with the guards, and then eventually, at the time, also my parents built relationship with the guards, so that they have the capability of, you know, outside communications, and they would work for, you know, doing sewing or all kinds of things like growing vegetables and stuff. They would try to provide those things for the guards, so that way they can build that trusting relationship.
It was a
so
trust
when,
in our case.
So when it comes to my health, the guard was able to just like, okay, we wanna help you out because we trust you, and whose life is surrounded by death basically, rather than being killed or being punished like the Jewish would. Your home is surrounded by landmines.
And
so that way you can't escape. If you escape, good luck getting you know, stepping on the landmines and stuff like that. But that's the reason why it's a prison. And so eventually the camp just died out, and the people just beginning to slowly move away. There's a lot of one of the way that people did was to move to the next city or the next
close
town,
by, you know, with the other villager, you know, just
and
surrounding.
eventually people just scattered out.
So what approximately what year was this when that happened?
I think it was maybe in the middle 80s.
Yeah, middle 80s.
And why do you think that was the case? What was the reason that it died down? Why weren't they as strict anymore?
You know, I think it's because, you know, I think it's modern. I once, you know,
not modernized. The
just,
communists still control the country, but the guard, it just become careless.
you know, they have more trust in the people. Oh, you're not gonna escape, you know, the country. You know, you won't be able to, or you know, the camp in Thailand was shutting down, and so, you know, you pretty much, you know, if you were gonna go out of this town, then, you know, you won't be able to escape to Thailand that easy, or, you know, it was becoming easier to.
Well, it had a lot to do with political movement at the time, and so being a kid, we wouldn't know the difference, but as far as our parents, they would understand why the camp was died out or just shutting down, period, because there's many camp rather than just one that we went to, and things just start falling apart and people start to move away from the camp.
So what happens after that? You moved out of the camp, and where did you go, and how did you make a living, like, for your parents, and how did you end up at the refugee camp in Thailand? Can you tell me about that? After the seminar camp.
After the seminar camp, my family basically moved out of the area, and we settled in Setamuak, where my dad worked kind of work for the local government there as seamstress. You know,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Doing
Sewing.
various kind of work for whichever way that will help him not get punished, basically, because his
has
role
pretty,
in the military.
he has a pretty high rank on in the military, so he just have to work harder. You know, as far as if you were in a lower rank, then you know you can get easily out, but then you have to build a trust with his rank. Otherwise, then we won't be able to, you know, have the life that we have now. Yeah.
While he was working for the local government, he also does a lot of food gathering, farming, you know,
Carpenter.
a lot of cultivational work. So that way he can
Whatever's
provide
called
for
on
his
him.
families and stuff like that. And hunting, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that would bring food to the family.
Yeah, after Bandung we came to Setamuak, and then Setamuak we moved out to Savannakhet. Yeah, and so after Savannakhet, then we escaped to Thailand.
To the refugee camp.
Yeah, refugee camp in Thailand.
Okay.
Yep.
So how long did you stay at Setamuak, and what did you do there?
I remember Setamuak was pretty much, you know, what he described. Our life was, you know, as a kids we didn't really, you know, play a big role as, you know, what's going on. We're just, you know, hanging out as a kids and, you know, where's food, you know, and
how old were you at this time?
At that age, I was about 5 or 6, and my sister was probably about 7. We basically learned how to take care of ourselves. My parents are also merchant. They travel to different city, different province to gather, you know, merchandise and stuff like that to bring back to the local market to sell. But we all would be left alone to take care of ourselves, and we would basically gather food
for ourselves.
Gather food or saving the money that our parents gave us, so that way we can give it back to them when they come back, rather than spending the money. And also, as far as playing games and stuff like that, playing with friends, we played in the neighborhood, you know, as far as everybody know each other, and we would get looked after by the neighbors. And then we also went to school as to learn Laos and stuff like that. And then what else?
School wasn't that much either. Yeah, we didn't. We have, you know, some day we have class and some day we don't have class. Who's the teacher? The teacher were also the whoever, you know, like the camper themselves, you know.
Yeah, we have designated teachers, which is the parents. The parents basically volunteer to teach there, and we go to school, and the parents are also the one that volunteer to build the school. My parents volunteered and built the school for us and stuff like that.
Okay. And so do you remember anything at all after you moved to Savannakhet, and then what did you do there?
Our life in Savannakhet is almost as much as, you know, when we were in Setamuak, but it was getting a little bit better. It was easier for us to go places, you know, have, you know, see other people, other relatives, because now then we live with other, you know, with our grandparents. And
so you moved to Savannakhet because your grandparents was there.
there.
We moved to Savannakhet to get out of the poverty that we were in Setamuak. And being in Savannakhet, we have
provide us better education.
We have a little bit more freedom and get into learning about the modernizations of the world or the country. So we went to school, educate ourselves. All my siblings went to school, and then you know, we stayed with our relatives and stuff like that. But as far as like what we do there, basically being a kid, you know, every kid would just run and play, or I raised, helped raise pigs and goat for my family, and then during spare times, I remember at around
we all have chores.
at around 8 years old, I was going around collecting scrap metal, and using those scrap metal to go resell it and use that, basically bring that money back to my parents.
He's the one that would go out as a boy, parents are not really worried about them as much as the girl. And so, because our role is so different. I have sisters that I have to look after, so mine was always at home. So my life would be at home cooking and helping my mom.
Well,
but he, as a boy, he get a chance.
But
to
the thing is, what we learn is we learn to help our family, basically, to do whatever it takes to survive. We grew up in a poor environment. We were born in a poor environment. So come to Savannakhet, though we have a little more freedom, though it's modernized a little bit, but we were still poor. So we learned how to do things that would get us going for the next day. As for like cultivating rice, or fishing, gathering vegetables, or finding bugs or lizards, or just all kinds of things as far as food wise. And so that we incorporate that into helping our families. Scrap from bombs, my parents, I remember, used to make pottery, plates and all kinds of things with the bombshell. And he would make lantern, he would make
serving plate,
all kinds of things, all kinds of art. People
he's pretty much he make his own stuff. And so with aluminum, is that what aluminum
shelf.
Shelf. And so we have whole bunch of that in
because
our backyard.
Because when you go to the seminar camp, there was nothing given to you. Basically, you go in there with empty hand, and they send you here's a land, survive. So if without the knowledge of doing anything, that's why a lot of people starve to death in there. But because my dad, he was he know a lot of things, and so he basically a self-taught person. He left his family's house since he was 13 to join the military, not join the military, but to find work. And so he became a well-rounded person, and so he was able to build all those things, and just by watching and learning from people and stuff like that. But he used his knowledge to survive in the the seminar camp.
The education camp, right?
Yeah, so as far as like the scrap metals, any type of scrap metals that's laying around, I take
But then at the time, when we were in Sawan, we didn't really realize what it is, or when we were in Setamuk or Bandung. But with those scrap, we have whole bunch of them. We built our house out of that. He's playing with it. I play playhouse. So pretty much I use those.
Yeah, our house is right at the seminar camp. Our house is right next to a tank. A rundown tank, basically.
So actually it was our porch.
Yes, the tank is our porch.
And so he would jump.
I would play on the tank. And my sister, one of my sister was born in the tank. Not in or on the tank?
On the tank. It was the older...
the younger sister, my younger sister.
How was that possible?
The tank, my dad built a HUD. So it connected to the tank. Okay. So that way we can use its platforms.
Oh, okay.
As far as like doing things like cooking or whatever.
So you
it's
like a floor.
It's safer because the land around the home can be landmine buried underneath there. So it's better to build your house off of something's already been destroyed, so that way it's safer, it's secure, it's there already, rather than go to the ground and digging for putting your supporting structures and stuff like that.
I see. There's that tank is still over there. They use the it's in the museum. You was it Bandung now? Yeah. And so I actually saw the tank is still there.
You might recognize the same one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so right now it's in the museum.
Well, it's in the museum.
They use the location as a museum.
As a museum now.
Oh,
yeah.
So the camp is a museum now.
Yep.
Okay. And you got to go back and visit the camp.
I went a couple years ago.